They sold the world a dream of freedom, family, and life off the grid. But behind the cameras were lawsuits, broken relationships, addiction, lies, and a tragedy that no amount of fame could fix.
Realized we spent all our money to get there. At that point we were like, we were ready to go home.
And most fans still don't know the full story. Alaskan Bush People followed the Brown family, living off the land, far from modern life. Billy and Amy raised their 7 kids to hunt, build, and survive in the wild.
Look what we found.
What do you have?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, princess.
Wait, that's the one that I made that cake. I made my own birthday cake.
The show became a massive hit because it felt real, raw, and inspiring. But fame changed everything faster than anyone expected. On screen, the Browns looked like the perfect example of freedom. No phones, no rules, no cities, just family, faith, and the wild. People loved that. Viewers felt like they were watching something pure in a world full of fake reality shows. But slowly, the cracks started to show. Locals in Alaska began speaking out, saying the family didn't actually live as remotely as the show claimed. Some said they would only come to certain locations for filming. Others claimed the cabins were built by production crews. Suddenly, fans started asking the scary question, how much of this was real? Before we move on, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and smash that like button. Thank you. Let's get back to it. Then came the behind-the-scenes stories. Former friends claimed the family wasn't always honest about their lifestyle. Rumors spread that the Browns spent more time in hotels than in the wilderness. Online forums lit up with theories. People who once defended the show now felt betrayed. And here's the painful part. Even if parts were exaggerated for TV, the emotional connections were real. Fans weren't just watching characters. They felt like they knew this family. They trusted them. Kids grew up watching them. Parents used them as examples. So, when the truth started to feel shaky, it wasn't just gossip. It felt personal. It was like finding out your favorite childhood story wasn't fully true. And that emotional disappointment was only the beginning. In 2015, everything exploded. Billy and Amy Brown were officially charged with multiple counts of fraud and tax evasion. Prosecutors claimed the couple hid income from the show and failed to pay taxes for years. This wasn't a small mistake. It was serious enough that both faced possible prison time. Fans were stunned. The same family that preached honesty, faith, and living simply was now in court, facing criminal charges. According to court documents, the Browns allegedly used fake addresses to avoid taxes, and claimed they didn't live in certain states when they actually did. Billy eventually pleaded guilty to 1 count of felony tax evasion. Amy pleaded guilty to 1 count of misdemeanor. The result? Billy was sentenced to 30 days in jail and years of probation. Amy received probation as well. Think about that. A family known for rejecting the system was now trapped inside it. The show took a temporary pause. Discovery Channel stayed quiet. Fans argued online. Some defended the family, saying they were overwhelmed and made mistakes. Others felt completely fooled. What hurt most wasn't just the crime, it was the broken image. People had believed the Browns were different, that they weren't like other reality TV families chasing money and fame. But suddenly, it looked like fame had been the goal all along. Even after filming resumed, something felt different. The innocence was gone. The trust was cracked. Every emotional moment now felt filtered through the question, is this real or is this for the camera? And sadly, the legal problems were just one piece of the chaos growing inside the family. If you watched the show closely over the years, you probably noticed something weird. Matt Brown started disappearing. Matt, the oldest son, once played a big role in the family dynamic. He was funny, rough around the edges, and often spoke his mind. But slowly, he became more distant. Then he stopped appearing altogether. Eventually, Matt confirmed what fans feared. He said he was no longer part of the family's life. And it wasn't just distance, it was conflict. Matt openly accused his family of controlling behavior. He suggested that the show manipulated reality. He said he felt pushed aside. In interviews and videos, he spoke about feeling betrayed, isolated, and unheard. The family, on the other hand, stayed mostly quiet. That silence only made things worse. Fans started choosing sides. Comment sections turned into war zones. Every post about the Browns became filled with debates, anger, and sadness. Imagine growing up in front of millions of people, then watching your family break apart while strangers comment on every move. That's not just drama, that's trauma. And while the cameras kept rolling, the real emotional damage was happening off-screen, where no editing could soften the pain. The family that built its brand on unity was now fractured in public. And the deeper reason behind Matt's distance was even more painful. Matt later revealed that he was battling addiction. He admitted to struggling with alcohol for years. At first, he tried to hide it. Then, he tried to fix it quietly. He entered rehab more than once, hoping to get control of his life. But addiction doesn't care about fame. It doesn't care about cameras. And it doesn't care about family reputation. Matt explained that he felt judged instead of supported. He said the environment around him made recovery harder. He also claimed that production pressure didn't help. Filming schedules, expectations, and public attention added weight to an already heavy burden. Many fans started to see him differently after hearing his story. Not as the problem child of the family, but as a human being struggling quietly while millions watched from a distance. Addiction is not entertaining. It's exhausting, it's isolating, it's painful. And when you mix addiction with family conflict, public attention, and reality TV pressure, it becomes a perfect storm. Some fans began asking uncomfortable questions. Was the show helping this family or hurting them? Was the image of togetherness just hiding deeper problems? And how many emotional struggles were never shown on screen? Those questions only grew louder as another devastating battle hit the family. In 2017, Ami Brown was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. Doctors initially gave her a very low chance of survival. The news crushed the family. Suddenly, the cameras weren't filming adventures anymore. They were filming hospital visits, tears, and fear. Viewers watched as Ami lost weight, lost energy, and fought for her life. The family moved closer to medical care. Everything changed. This wasn't staged. This wasn't drama for TV. This was real. Fans around the world prayed for her. People who had never met the Browns cried with them. The emotional bond was undeniable. Thankfully, Ami survived. Her recovery was slow and difficult, but she beat the odds. Still, the trauma didn't disappear. A life-threatening illness changes people. It changes families. The show tried to present the story as hopeful, but behind the scenes, the emotional damage was heavy. Fear of losing a parent, stress, anxiety, financial pressure, public attention during private pain. It's one thing to go through trauma. It's another thing to go through trauma while millions are watching. And just when the family thought they had survived the worst, tragedy struck in a way no one was ready for. In February 2021, Billy Brown passed away after suffering a seizure. The announcement came suddenly. No long build-up, no dramatic storyline, just a heartbreaking post from the family confirming that the man who built everything was gone. Fans were devastated. Billy wasn't just the father on the show. He was the voice, the leader, the symbol of the lifestyle. Love him or question him, the entire story revolved around him. Without Billy, the foundation of the family collapsed. You could see the difference immediately. The family's social media changed tone. The show felt different. The energy was gone. The direction was unclear. Grief hit every member differently. Some pulled inward. Some tried to stay strong publicly. Some struggled silently. Losing a parent is hard enough. Losing one while the world watches is something else entirely. Billy's death didn't just mark the loss of a person, it marked the end of an era. The family dynamic shifted. The future of the show became uncertain. Long-standing issues inside the family became harder to ignore. For many fans, this was the moment the story stopped feeling like entertainment and started feeling like real-life heartbreak. Because no matter what you believe about the show, death is real, and grief doesn't follow a script. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Fame didn't create the Browns' problems. It exposed them. Reality TV put pressure on every crack in the family structure. Every disagreement became bigger. Every mistake became public. Every personal struggle became content. When your income depends on staying interesting, real life starts to blur with performance. Privacy disappears. Boundaries disappear. Even pain becomes part of the product. The Browns weren't just living their lives. They were living them under contract. And that kind of pressure changes people. Money complicates trust. Cameras complicate honesty. Fame complicates relationships. Over time, it becomes harder to tell what's real and what's being shaped for the audience. The biggest question fans now ask isn't, what happened to the family? It's, was this lifestyle ever sustainable to begin with? Because building a life around isolation is hard. Building a life around isolation while millions watch is almost impossible. This isn't just a Brown family issue. This happens to many reality TV families. Look at other shows. Kids grow up on camera and later talk about anxiety. Families become brands instead of relationships. Conflicts are encouraged because conflict brings views. It becomes a cycle. Drama creates attention. Attention creates money. Money creates pressure to keep the drama going. The Browns became trapped inside the very story that made them famous. Even when they tried to move toward normal life, fans expected wilderness. When they showed vulnerability, critics called it fake. When they stayed quiet, rumors filled the silence. There was no winning. And here's the saddest part. Many of their struggles would have been manageable in private. Family conflict, addiction recovery, health battles, grief. These are things millions of families go through. But when those struggles happen on a public stage, healing becomes harder. Every step forward is judged. Every step backward is documented. The cost of fame isn't just stress. It's losing the right to fall apart in peace. The story of Alaskan Bush People isn't just about a TV show. It's about real people caught between image and reality. There were inspiring moments. There were dishonest moments. There were moments of love and moments of deep pain. Lawsuits, broken relationships, addiction, illness, and loss weren't just headlines. They were lived experiences. The Browns weren't heroes. They weren't villains. They were a family navigating impossible pressure while the world watched. Some fans feel betrayed. Some still feel loyal. Both emotions are valid. But one thing is clear. Behind every episode, every dramatic scene, and every viral clip, there were real consequences. And those consequences didn't end when the cameras stopped. They just became quieter. For more deep dives like this, subscribe, smash that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.